Cold autumn rain hammered against the windshield of an old pickup truck. Daniel Harris, a 34-year-old paramedic from a quiet American town, was driving home after another exhausting night shift. His phone suddenly rang. "Emily." A tired smile crossed his face. "Hey, I'm almost home." The call connected, but instead of his wife's voice, there was only metallic static. Then, a little boy whispered, "Daddy, don't come home." Daniel slammed on the brakes. He didn't have any children. When he finally arrived home, the house was completely silent. Emily was asleep in bed. Her phone was charging on the nightstand. She had never called him. There wasn't even a record of the call. Daniel convinced himself it was exhaustion. Until that night, he dreamed of a little boy, around 8 years old. His clothes were soaked. His face was covered in ash. He stood alone in a dark forest, staring directly into Daniel's eyes. Only one sentence escaped his lips. "Don't open the red door." A few days later, Daniel was dispatched to a fatal car accident deep in the woods. When he arrived, his blood froze. The woman behind the wheel looked exactly like Emily. Every detail was identical, but the driver's license belonged to someone else. In the back seat lay the body of an 8-year-old boy, the same boy from Daniel's dream. Clutched tightly in his arms was an old stuffed dog. When a police officer tried to pick it up, the toy laughed, a soft, childlike laugh. Everyone assumed it still had batteries. It didn't. After that night, Daniel stopped sleeping. Every evening he heard footsteps above his bedroom. His house had only one floor. 3 slow knocks echoed through the hallway. Every single night. Always 3. He would open the door. No one was there. One morning he discovered muddy footprints, small, barefoot. They began in the middle of a wall and ended beside his bed. Daniel became obsessed. He searched old newspapers and county records. 40 years earlier, a children's orphanage had stood where his neighborhood now existed. A fire killed 11 children, officially. But one child was never found. His body simply vanished. His name was Michael Walker, 8 years old. Each night, Michael appeared closer, first at the end of the hallway, then inside the kitchen, then outside Daniel's bedroom. He never blinked, never moved, only stared and whispered, "You promised." Daniel's sanity slowly crumbled. He had never met this child. He had never promised anyone anything. One evening he discovered an attic. The house had never had one before. Inside sat a dusty wooden box, old photographs. One image made his heart stop. A young man who looked exactly like Daniel. The photo was dated 1979, 5 years before Daniel was born. On the back, someone had written, "Thank you for saving my son." The man in the picture was holding Michael's hand. That night, the bathroom mirror fogged over. Words slowly appeared by themselves. "You never came back." Daniel looked into the mirror. His own reflection was gone. Instead, 12 burned children stood behind him, their skin blackened, their eyes empty. They opened their mouths together and screamed without making a sound. Emily finally confessed something she had hidden for years. When Daniel was 6, he had survived a devastating house fire. He remained in a coma for weeks. When he woke up, he kept talking about a boy named Michael. Doctors dismissed it as trauma. His parents destroyed every hospital record, and they never spoke of it again. Then the memories returned, piece by piece. Smoke, flames, a locked bedroom, a terrified little boy. Daniel had escaped through a broken window. Michael couldn't. As the fire swallowed the room, Daniel looked back. "I'll come back for you." He never did. On the final night, every light in the house went out. The phones died, the rain stopped. Children began crying from every room, calling for their parents, begging for help. Then, absolute silence. A red door appeared in the center of the living room, the same door Michael had warned him about. It slowly opened by itself. There was no room behind it, only an endless black hallway. At the far end, Michael stood waiting. For the first time, he smiled. He stretched out his hand. "You came back." Daniel took one step, then another, and disappeared into the darkness. The next morning, police found the house completely empty. No blood, no signs of struggle, no footprints, nothing, except the old stuffed dog. When the detective picked it up, a tiny voice whispered directly into his ear, "Thank you. Now he stayed instead of me." The toy slowly turned its head, its glass eyes opened, and smiled. Security footage from across the street captured one final recording. At exactly 3:33 a.m., Daniel walked out of the house. Beside him walked 12 children. None of them cast a shadow. Every one of them turned to face the camera, except Michael. He walked last. Just before the recording ended, he looked directly into the lens and smiled. The screen faded to black. For 10 long seconds, only a child's whisper remained. "Good night. It's your turn to close the door."